Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're going to break down one of the most important ideas in all of Bitcoin, what it really means to own your crypto. And trust me, it goes way deeper than just hitting that buy button.
So you did it. You went on an exchange, you bought some Bitcoin, and now you see that balance sitting in your account. Feels good, right? It feels like it's yours. But here's the question we really need to ask. Do you actually own it? The answer might surprise you, and it's absolutely critical. All right, first up, let's talk about what I call the ownership illusion. Because that number you see on the screen, well, it's not quite what you think it is.
The best way to get this is to think about a regular old bank. When you deposit cash, you see a balance in your account, but the bank is the one holding the actual paper money. What you have is a claim, a promise from the bank that they'll give it back to you. It's the exact same deal with a crypto exchange. They hold the real Bitcoin, and your account balance, that's basically just an IOU from them.
Understanding that difference is everything, and it leads us directly to the single most important rule in Bitcoin, the one thing you absolutely have to know to keep your assets safe. Seriously, if you take only one thing away from this whole explainer, make it this. This is the key to everything, the bedrock of financial sovereignty in this space.
And here it is, not your keys, not your coins. It's the mantra of Bitcoin. And what it means is simple. If you don't personally control the private keys, that's the special digital password to your Bitcoin, then you don't really own the coins. You're just trusting someone else to hold them for you. And that trust, well, it comes with some pretty huge risks.
So what could possibly go wrong when you let someone else hold your Bitcoin? Let's break down the 3 biggest dangers you're exposed to.
We can boil these down to 3 main categories. First, there's insolvency risk. The exchange could just go bankrupt. Then there's hacking risk. They could get robbed. And finally, there's control and censorship risk. They could just decide to freeze your account. And let me tell you, these aren't just possibilities. They happen.
Let's start with risk number 1. Insolvency. This isn't some abstract theory. We all watched it play out in real time, and the most spectacular way with FTX. At the end of the day, exchanges are just companies, and companies can and do fail.
And when they fail, it's a devastating chain reaction. First, the exchange goes bust. Immediately, all customer funds are frozen solid. And that IOU you were holding, it suddenly becomes completely worthless. The people who used FTX found out the hard way that they didn't own Bitcoin. They owned a claim on a bankrupt company. And poof, their money was gone.
Okay, risk number 2 is hacking. I mean, just think about it. An exchange is holding billions, sometimes hundreds of billions, of dollars of crypto all in one place. That makes them a giant, glowing, irresistible target for the best hackers on the planet. And while their security might be good, it's never foolproof.
And finally, we have the risk of control. An exchange can freeze your account or block you from withdrawing your money whenever they want. Maybe it's a technical issue, maybe it's pressure from regulators, who knows? But suddenly, you have to ask permission to use your own money, which, let's be honest, completely defeats the whole point of Bitcoin in the first place.
Okay, that was a lot of doom and gloom, I know. But the good news is, there is a clear, straightforward solution, a way to take back control. This is the path to true, undeniable ownership.
And that solution is called self-custody. It sounds complicated, but it's not. It's simply the act of moving your Bitcoin off the exchange and into a personal wallet that you, and only you, have the keys to. When you do this, you're the one holding the private keys, often in the form of a 12 or 24-word phrase, and you'd become the one and only true owner of your Bitcoin.
The difference is just night and day. On one side, with exchange custody, you're living with all those risks: insolvency, hacking, censorship. But with self-custody, you replace all that with full control, true ownership, and zero third-party risk. You're no longer at the mercy of some company's mistakes or failures.
And this brings us to the final, and frankly, the most empowering idea of them all. This isn't just about security. It's a fundamental change in your relationship with money.
When you practice self-custody, you completely remove the middleman. You're not asking a bank for permission. You're not asking an exchange for permission. You are in total, sovereign control. In every way that matters, you have become your own bank.
So that's the secret. True Bitcoin ownership isn't about clicking buy. It's about taking control. It's the difference between holding a flimsy promise and holding the actual, unseizable asset in your own hands. And that really leaves you with a simple but profound question. Who are you going to trust with your wealth? Some company that might not be around tomorrow, or yourself?